Okay, this is second lecture of power plant engineering for third year mechanical. In last lecture, we have discussed about uses and function of boiler, and then first one of its kind, that is a Benson boiler. Now, uh, let's see. Next boiler is uh, Loeffler boiler, in which let's discuss about some points about it. The difficulty encountered in Lamont boiler, okay, that what was difficulty? Boiler is formation bubble on the surface of the bubble reduces heat transfer. Okay, because of formation of bubble, the rate of heat transfer was quite less. Therefore, here that in Loeffler boiler, the abnormality is been removed. Let's see what they have modified over here. The difficulty encountered in Lamont boiler of sedimentation and deposition of salt in tube is solved by Loeffler boiler by preventing the flow of water into the boiler tube. Okay, that means here the flow of water is not in through the boiler. Other work on principle of evaporation of feed water by means of superheated steam from superheated and hot gases from the furnace being permanently used for superheating. Okay, for superheating purpose you will see too many heat exchanger in this particular Loeffler boiler. Let's see that in next figure we will see the schematic. Uh, we have 2.33 figure given alongside. Let me show you that. We will discuss further. First, see what is given in that. Shows the schematic drum boiler. The boiler drum is constructed outside the furnace. Boiler drum is outside the furnace. Okay, you will see that. The high pressure feed pump feed water through economizer and pick up some heat from outside outgoing flue gases and discharge into evaporating drum. The steam circulating pump draws saturated steam from evaporating drum and passes it through radiant and convection superheaters where steam is heated to required temperature. From superheater, approximately one-third of the superheated steam is sent to the prime mover and 2 by 3 passes back to the evaporating drum to evaporate the feed water. Okay, then about 35% of steam coming out from the superheater is supplied to high pressure boiler high pressure steam turbine. The steam coming out of high pressure turbine is passed through reheater before supplying to low pressure turbine as shown in figure. The Lamont steam generated in the evaporator drum is equal to the steam tapped, that is 65%, from the superheater. This boiler can carry higher salt concentration than any other type and is more compact than indirectly heated boilers having natural circulation. These qualities fit it for land or sea transport power generation, since the poor field water has no detrimental effect on scale accumulation. The boiler's steam generating capacity is 100 tons per hour and operating pressure is about 140 bar. Now let's see that the construction and working. Let's see how this accumulation of uh, scales and bubble formation is reduced in this tubing. Let me show you something before that. Uh, Here is a whole setup of furnace. Okay, here the uh, flow of, or where the most important thing is here, this heat exchange takes place via radiation and convection or conduction. This means, okay, now uh, because of this if the liquid, or we can say water in liquid form, is fed at this, in this particular portion, okay, in this total particular portion, the problem of scale formation may be occur. But in this particular boiler, what they have done or change is done over here to minimize that problem. Let's see that. You can see evaporating drum at this point. Okay, this is evaporating drum. What happens over here? The feed water, okay, which is in liquid form, is passes through. Okay, now you can see here the gas is combusted over here and it is passing like this. Okay, it has lost too much heat over here, and remaining heat is also utilized for preheating of water. Okay, at this point water is preheated at this point. Okay, then the what is preheated at this portion, now fed over here. Now at this point water have some more temperature than the atmosphere. Now water goes through, it get preheated, its temperature raises, and then it is supplied to the evaporating drum. You can see what is evaporating drum. Okay, let me go to another point. The steam from this turbine, okay, you can see this super steam get superheated over here. This is cycle, we have to start from some point. Okay, let me start from this point then. Okay, superheated steam get over here, and total of 100% steam, 65% is flow through this, 35% is expanded on this high pressure turbine. Then its enthalpy get decreased, and again it is fed to the where, into the furnace, okay, or boiler. The steam again fed to the furnace or boiler, in which its temperature again increases, which is called as reheater. It reheat the steam, and again it supercharges or superheat the steam, and which is again passed through the second high pressure boiler. Okay, and steam then it is exhausted. Now what happened with this 65% of steam? It is used to evaporate this water. Okay, that means you can see over here, here is the liquid water. Okay, you have shown a air compressor. Here you can see it is, this tip is not dipped into the water. Okay, let me show you. This tip of this compressor is not dipped into the water. That means it is collecting steam and feeding it to the combustion chamber. That means there is no problem. Water will carry any salt or whatever, which will totally got damped over here in this evaporating drum. Okay, that means only pure steam is getting to the reheater, combustion chamber. Therefore there will be no problem of scale formation in this particular tubing. Okay, or where it may occur only at this point. Okay, scale formation will be over just at these locations only. Okay, here you can see, because what, it is carrying ordinary water, therefore scale formation may take place only in this particular tubing. Because, and what is its advantages is what, you don't have to repair, or you don't have to clean this much of the tubing. That means too much we can say maintenance cost get reduced. But in other boiler, what happen, you have to clean all the tubing, remove it, and you have to clean. But in this case you just have to clean this much of tubing. Because of what, only this tubing carries the water, but on the all other steams, on all other tubing, it is carrying steam. Here is also steam, which is supplied to the first high pressure boiler, which is using 65% of steam. At this high pressure boiler, 65% of steam is utilized. In this 65%, so 35% of the steam is utilized for electricity generation or any other purpose. Then this 65% here, 65% is used for again in evaporating drum for evaporating the water. Okay, now you can see here this 35 steam is expanded on the turbine. Its enthalpy get decreased, and again it is sent to the into the boiler and it is reheated. After reheating, it is again supplied to the next high pressure boiler. Here are two turbine, next turbine high pressure turbine, and at this is turbine 1, this one is second. This you can see this. Okay, therefore this is the Leffler boiler, or construction working of Leffler boiler. Let's see, next one is Velox boiler. Velox boiler is forced circulation water boiler. Okay, this is water tube boiler. Water tube means water in tube. Fire tube means fire in tube. Okay, the Velox boiler works on the principle that the velocity of gas exceeds the velocity of sound. The heat is velocity of, that means ultrasonic velocity. Velocity of gas exceeds the velocity of sound. The heat is transferred from the gas at much higher rate than the rate achieved with subsonic flow. Velox boiler is used to advantage of the theory. It can increase the total heat transfer rate of steam generated without actually increasing its given surface area or size. This boiler has thermal efficiency about 90 to 95%. Okay, let's see its okay. Uh, from here, air is compressed. Okay, you can see the gas turbine running on. First see this cycle. We will start from some point. Here superheated steam is going to the, or steam is getting supplied to the superheater. Here at this point it get superheated, and then it is fed to the steam outlet or any generator, and then it is some of the steam is used to run the turbine, which is compressing the air. For what purpose? It is used for the mixing with the fuel, so that we will get the air fuel mixture, proper air fuel mixture, and which will be combusted in the combustion chamber. Then the pump, you can see from the hot well. From here hot well, the water is fed to the tank. Okay, or here is the tubing outside this. Okay, then here is again water pump, which is pumping the water to here and again supplying the water or steam to this superheater. Here is superheater, which is superheating this steam. Okay, this is the all over construction. Small okay, small points are there. You can see over here, that is feed pump feeding the water to the not evaporator, to the boiler, which is boiling water, which is making it steam. Then steam is further given to the superheater, where the superheater steam is again given to the steam turbine, and a part of it is used for using turbine or running turbine, which is coupled with the compressor, air compressor, which air is supplied to the combustion chamber for combusting the fuel. In this way this actually works. Now next one is, let's see construction. It consists of feed water pump, which supply the water at pressure and pass through the economizer. Okay, you have seen that this is called as economizer. Okay, this is economizer. Then this is superheater, economizer, superheater. This one is combustion chamber and boiler over there. Hot fuel gas passes through the economizer from the combustion chamber. When water passes through the economizer tube, then water is preheated. There is another water circulating pump, and this pump is connecting with economizer. This water circulating pump is connected with the tube evaporating section, an axial compressor, and a steam separator is connected with the tube evaporating section. The special feature of this boiler is that the flue gases are expanded in a gas turbine before being discharged to the atmosphere, which runs an axial flow compressor. Then steam separator is connected with the convection superheater, where saturated steam from steam separator get heated and become superheat steam Velox boiler uses pressurized combustion chamber. Then working. In the Velox boiler, air is compressed to 20 to 50 Newton per centimeter square by an air compressor run by a gas turbine before supplying to the combustion chamber as shown in figure. The objective of this compression is to secure a supersonic velocity of the gases passing through the combustion chamber and gas tubes. As the result of this high rate of heat release are achieved, the capacity of this boiler is limited about 100 tons per hour because large power about 6000 kilowatt is required to run the air compressor at this output. The fuel and air injected downward into the vertical combustion chamber, which consists of annual gas tube and annual water tubes. The product of combustion are deflected upward into the evaporator tubes, which consist of an outer annual through which the water evaporated is circulated at a high velocity. The heat is transferred from gases to the water at a very high rate. Here, most of the water converted into the steam. Then the steam is supplied to the steam separating drum. From this, steam supplied to the convection superheater. If there is any moisture with the steam, then it will be separated in steam separating section and sent into the water tube evaporating along with preheated feed water coming from economizer by water circulating pump. In the convection superheater, steam temperature increases by the help of exhaust flue gases. Then generated superheated steam supplied to the prime mover for further operation. Size of Velox boiler is limited up to 100 tons per hour. The main reason is 1600 brake horsepower is used to run the air compressor at 100 tons per hour or 100 ton output. The amount of power generated by the gas turbine is not enough to run this compressor. For this reason, some external power source may be needed. Advantage of Velox boiler: it has very high rate of heat transfer. Steam separating generating unit is compact and high flexibility. Then it is capable of quick starting. It lays low excess air required due to use of compressor. The control is entirely automatic and thermal efficiency is high. Only disadvantage of Velox boiler is that this is a limitation on the size of Velox boiler. Okay, we will stop today. Next we will see Schmidt Hartmann boiler. Okay, thank you. But can you remember the things that we have what we have seen up to this lecture? That is Lamont boiler. In Lamont boiler, a forced circulation. It was a first circulation boiler. Okay, this is forcing high pressure water boiler to the tube. This generally used in Europe and America. The feed water from hot well is supplied to strong and superheating drum through the economizer. The most of the sensible heat is supplied to the feed of water passing through the economizer. A centrifugal pump circulate the water equal to 8 to 10 times of weight of the steam evaporated. Then what was the advantage of this Lamont boiler was? The advantage of this boiler is that it is flexible, compact and small size of drum. But the disadvantage is that of this boiler is formation of bubble on inner surface of the tube, reduce the heat transfer and steam generation rate as it offer high thermal resistance than water fuel. Therefore, we have seen this which boiler just that is Lefler boiler, which is providing advantages over Benson and Lamont boiler. Okay, in which there is no problem of this bubble scale formation because the tubing consists only steam, not water. Okay, therefore, so these were the main points about all these three boilers. We will continue further this lecture uh, with Schmidt Hartmann boiler. Thank you.